News 12 and NBC 26 on your side.
Hundreds of people from all walks of life fill the downtown streets of Columbia. Many of them here for the food, most of them for the music, but more people than usual are in town for the eclipse.
There are a ton more people there, probably visiting, hey, we're making a weekend trip. We might as well see what Columbia has to offer. So let's go to the farmer's market.
University of South Carolina graduate student Amanda Bohr is a regular at the farmer's market. She says she didn't expect this many out-of-towners, but her job did.
The office is going to be closed, so we don't have to be stuck in the traffic when we're traveling to see patients.
It's a special time in many locals' and visitors' lives, like this couple from Houston, Texas.
Me and him have been together, and it's a first for us. So we're going to celebrate this together.
But people aren't just touching down in South Carolina. So people usually come to Augusta for the Masters, but now people are starting to come for Cyber. And for this once-in-a-lifetime experience, they're flying in for this. With this simple sign, I met people like Beverly Gurton, who was here for the eclipse and for family.
When I looked at the path of totality and saw that it was really close, I thought that would be a great opportunity to visit them and see the eclipse.
Gurton works at NASA headquarters in D.C., where it's only 80% totality, and she says she wanted to have the best view for this solar phenomenon.
I'm just very interested in all different aspects of science, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I wanted to try to make sure I got someplace in the totality.
But whether you're flying in or just walking out your front door,
I think it's worth it for everyone that gets to get here and actually see something that's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity.
I love them. They're mine. When they step on that first step, they're mine. They no longer belong to them people in houses. They're mine.
For the past 16 years, Vivian Sargent Davis has been more than just a bus driver.
They're like family. I'll go to the store, and all of a sudden I'll hear, Miss Sargent, where are you? Miss Sargent, there's no bus driver. I mean, they get so excited.
Like most parents, Davis says she's excited for school to start and to see her nearly 65 kids.
To be a bus driver, you have to have a feeling here, and you have to have love kids. I think all of our bus drivers love all of their kids, and they're looking forward to seeing their kids on the first day of school.
Alan Connor, the director of transportation for Columbia County, says drivers are already starting to pick up their buses and will be practicing routes this week. It's important to make sure the drivers and the kids are on time and safe.
We're not going to take shortcuts. We're always going to be safe. That's our main priority in the department.
21 out of the 217 routes were changed this year because of school rezoning.
Changes this year, of course, the new schools, and then we have to rezone based on student population shifts. There's always new students coming into this county. We are a progressive county. We're a growing county.
About 1,000 students will be on a different bus this year, but not Davis's kids. She says her bus number has changed a few times, but her route has always stayed the same.
I've seen them from kindergarten all the way up to graduation, go to college, and they come back.
And she wouldn't change it, not even for a Magic School Bus.
Right on the Magic School Bus. I love it. I love it so much.
We are all used to seeing it, or sitting in it by now, the construction zone and the traffic it causes on I-20. But today I took a ride with Georgia State Trooper Ben Rollins to see what he sees on the interstate.
Getting their coffee cup, talking to their kids, Facebooking.
The truth is, we're distracted, but Trooper Rollins says it only takes a few seconds to cause an even greater delay.
They're not paying attention to what's going on in front of them, so when you have traffic at a stop or almost a stop, and then a vehicle comes up behind them at 70 plus miles an hour, obviously the damage is going to be pretty severe, and the potential for injury or even death is there as well.
GSP is trying to decrease the accidents on I-20 by increasing the number of troopers. In this case, 6 or 7 instead of the usual 3. And they were looking for drivers who aren't necessarily looking for them.
They will maybe put their phone down, put their seatbelt on, something along those lines. But there's also, on the flip side, plenty of times where we can ride right beside them or right behind them, and our vehicles are clearly marked, and they don't even pay us any attention.
Speeding or distracted driving by itself is dangerous, but as we've seen in the construction, it's deadly.
Keep moving, but just go a little bit slower than the posted speed because of the people out there, because these are people's fathers and husbands and sons, and they can get hit just as quick as we can.
It's the biggest biggest time of the year in this Harlem neighborhood.
People decorate, they invite the kids in, they sit out in the yard with the table, big bowls of candy, music.
Shady Grove is known for Halloween, and the Crenshaw family have lived right in the middle of it for years.
We have thousands of trick-or-treaters.
She says kids love the spooky decorations and good candy, and the parents love it because it's safe. But outside Shady Grove, Crenshaw says there are some doors kids shouldn't knock on, specifically registered sex offenders.
We never trick-or-treated in any other neighborhood but this one, so we didn't have to worry about that. But I was always aware who they were, where they lived, how close they lived.
In Georgia, there's a curfew for sex offenders on Halloween night, but not all of them are required to follow it. Only the ones on probation or parole. In Columbia County, there are 98 sex offenders. The sheriff's office says about half of them are on probation and have to follow the curfew. The other half are allowed to participate, meaning they can open their doors to your kids. In South Carolina, there are regulations for all sex offenders. Ashley Finch with Aiken County's Probation and Parole Office says the 25 current sex offenders under supervision are required to meet at the office on Halloween night. Those who aren't still have to stay in the house with the lights off. Finch says they don't want parents to be alarmed, but aware. That's why every county has a list of registered sex offenders online.
So you can plan out your route to avoid sex offender residences when you're going out to do trick-or-treating.
But Crenshaw says this is important year-round, not just on Halloween.
They need to be aware of their surroundings. The world is what it is. It's not safe 100% of the time.
Can't really correct something that whenever it's already happened.
Except a lot of people try. When you veer a little too far to the side, then brake or start turning back too fast. That's called overcorrecting.
I know a lot of people who died from our school that went off road, and I know a couple people from different schools that happened. I think that will save a lot of lives too.
That's why William Sherman is here today at the Teen Operations Driving Course to learn how to avoid what could be a deadly mistake.
The driver's natural instinct is to hit the brakes and turn hard left. And at that point, a lot of bad things happen.
Woodrow Gaines with TVOC says overcorrecting can be one of the biggest causes of a deadly crash. So he wants to teach teens like Sloan Wild what to do if they ever find themselves in this scary situation.
I swerve off of the road and I don't press the brake when I'm off of the road. You're supposed to like ease back onto the road.
These lessons are coming at a crucial time for teen drivers. 4 local teens died behind the wheel last month. Statewide, GDOT has reported 448 fatal accidents this year. There were a few moments the parents, like Sloan's dad, were starting to get nervous.
Every now and then I open my mouth when I really thought I was going to keep my mouth shut.
But all the parents can agree on one thing.
As opposed to just reading the manual, going through the regular motions, the regular routines that we use to teach kids, I think it's great. A great experience. It's giving them something they're not going to get unless it's too late to get it.
Anyone can be lucky.
I can go to the store, buy a lottery ticket, and have some good luck.
But not Troy McNeil.
I'd just rather be grateful.
Working at his father's funeral home in Martinez and witnessing all the lives claimed by DUIs and deadly overdoses, McNeil looks at things differently.
I think when you experience the things that I experienced and saw and hear, maybe on a daily basis, I think that aids in the gratitude.
Gratitude that didn't exist 7 years ago.
Summer of 2010, I was living a death wish. I was just kind of existing.
McNeil says he started drinking at 18. By 25, he was no longer the one driving his life. Alcohol was.
I was pushing it to the edge. I was seeing how far I could hit that gas pedal.
That same summer, he found the brakes. But not everyone breaks away from their addiction in time. The National Institutes of Health reports alcohol is the 3rd leading preventable cause of death in the U.S., killing 88,000 people each year.
It's life or death when they come here.
But once they walk through those Hale House doors, Cliff Richards, the CEO of the foundation, says they're no longer fighting the deadly disease alone. The recovery program treats men battling alcoholism and drug addiction and teaches them how to turn the mess it caused into a cleaner future.
What they'll learn is their liabilities of their past life becomes their greatest asset.
It's been 7 years since McNeil had a drink. And he says without alcohol,
you can do everything that you wanted to do.
But more importantly,
you can also live it.